Good morning, President, Minister, distinguished guests, and welcome to the open day, the launch of the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship, the first apprenticeship for the freight distribution and logistics sector in Munster Technology University, MTU. My name is Aidan Flynn. I'm the General Manager of the Freight Transport Association of Ireland, and as Chair of the Consortium, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to you all. As this is a Zoom call, please check that you're on mute, and please note that this event is being recorded. The Earn As You Learn Apprenticeship and Traineeship Plan was launched by the government in 2016 and offers career options for school leavers and mature students who would prefer to have paid on-the-job training while studying for a qualification rather than going to college full-time. Apprenticeship is defined as a program of structured education and training which formally combines and alternates learning in the workplace with learning in an education or training centre. The key to success of all new apprenticeships is the engagement of industry. And to aid the demonstration of the industry need, the addressing the demand for skills in the freight transport distribution and logistics sector in Ireland 2015 to 2020 report published in 2015 was referenced, and it has found that due to an anticipated expansion in the sector and the replacement demand for those employed in core freight, transport, distribution and logistics occupations, that up to 15,500 job vacancies would become available over the period 2015 to 2020. This report has now been supplemented by the establishment of the Logistics and Supply Skills Group that has delivered its first update report in December 2020, titled Logistics and Supply Chain Skills Group Annual Progress Report, and we'll hear more about that later today. This report highlights that the logistics industry is very important for the Irish economy and that transportation and storage accounts for around 6.5 billion of total gross value added in the Irish economy. There are over 103,000 employed in the transportation and storage sector in Q3 2020 compared to 104,000 in Q3 2019. And this demonstrates that the logistics industry is dynamic and is resilient in the face of significant challenges faced by all because of the COVID pandemic. The Logistics Associate Apprenticeship LAA journey commenced in 2017. Declan Allen, Assistant Head of School at the School of Management Technology, University Dublin, Ainger Street, was the catalyst that gelled a dynamic group of trade associations, including the Freight Transport Association of Ireland, who are the lead proposer, the Irish International Freight Association, the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers Ireland, IPEX, the Supply Chain Management Institute, an impressive list of employers, including NVD, DHL, Kuehne Nagel, and Yukon, to name but a few, into the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Consortium. Michael J. O'Mahony from Cork Institute of Technology, as MTU was known then, and Jane O'Keefe were prominent members of the consortium from the start. Initially, one of the main objectives for this apprenticeship was for the programme to be scalable and have a broad appeal for both employers in the freight distribution and logistics sector, as well as for young people looking to enter the industry for the first time. It also needed to meet the criteria set down by the Apprenticeship Council to have a national reach. The supply chain is changing at a pace with technology advancements and climate developments that demand change relative to how we worked in the past. It is an exciting time, and this apprenticeship programme is a valuable option for all employers in their quest to remain viable into the future. Evidence of its success to date is that there are now over 60 employers representing every link in the supply chain, from manufacturing, warehouse and distribution, haulage to freight forwarding, with apprentices on the programme. This apprenticeship has proven that by offering structured training and qualifications on the national framework of qualifications, you can attract new entrants into the industry. In addition, it provides benefits for employers as workforce skills are enhanced and employee loyalty is increased in line with development of improved career progression opportunities. The impact of COVID-19 pandemic, coupled with the trade implications associated with Brexit, have created significant challenges for all in the freight distribution and logistics sector. These challenges have also raised the profile of a sector which is essential to success of the Irish economy, while also creating more awareness of the diversity of roles within the sector. Attracting young people and creating career progression opportunities within the supply chain is critical to supporting and sustaining the resilience of all links in the freight, distribution and logistics sector. This apprenticeship programme helps achieve these goals for employers. With the delivery of the LAA programme now incorporating the participation of MTU, the programme is now delivered on a national basis, in line with the ethos opposed by the consortium of industry and education partners. The Logistics Associate Apprenticeship offers all logistics companies in the Munster region the ideal opportunity to future-proof their businesses by recruiting apprentices and/or upskilling existing employees to support their career progression opportunities. I would now like to introduce our agenda for today, for the session for today, if you bear with me. So, the President of Munster Technology University, Ms. Maggie Cusack, will say a few words and introduce the Minister of State for International Road Transport and Logistics. Following the Minister, we were delighted to welcome two employer representatives, Mr. Brian Power from Boston Scientific and Mr. Con Lawler from South Coast Logistics. Anna Greca, Project Manager with the LAA, will provide an overview of the apprenticeship programme. And Dr. Jane O'Keefe, a lecturer from MTU, will provide an overview of the Logistics and Supply Chain Skills Group. Ahead of the Q&A session, Mr. Niall Morris will provide some closing remarks as head of the Department of Process Energy and Transport Engineering, and this is the school the apprenticeship sits in MTU. I would like to thank our contributors. I would like to thank our contributors for their time today in advance, and following the presentation there will be a Q&A session where officials from MTU, Anna and myself will be available to answer questions that you may have. Due to the numbers on the call, I will act as moderator and encourage you to submit your questions via the chat link. I will put the questions to the panel. Any questions that we do not get to, we will collate and provide answers to everybody after the event. I would now like to invite the President of MTU, Ms. Maggie Cusack, who took up her new role of inaugural President of MTU on the 1st of January 2021, as Munster Technology University was founded, to say a few words and introduce the Minister of State at the Department of Transport. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aidan, and good morning, everyone, and welcome to the official launch of our Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Programme. This novel programme forms part of the new style apprenticeships in higher education in response to the government call for proposals for apprenticeships in new occupations in 2015. The enrolled students form part of the student base of Cork Institute of Technology, and excitingly, they will graduate from the new Munster Technological University. The collaboration between TU Dublin and MTU, along with Freight Transport Association, has resulted in this industry-led consortium that has developed the Logistics Association Apprenticeship with the express aim of addressing critical skills shortages in the sector. So we often think of logistics as companies like DHL delivering parcels to our door, but behind that parcel arriving at the door, there's sea and air freight logistics combined with road transport. And many multinational companies such as Boston Scientific have their own logistics divisions as part of their company structure to meet the demands of that just-in-time inventory arrival and scheduling. And let's not forget the smaller operators who play an absolutely vital role within our local economy, managing their own distribution vehicles and delivering vital goods and services to customers throughout the Munster region. So the official launch of the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Programme serves as a key example of MTU's commitment to academic excellence and industry collaborations in the Munster region and beyond. The Southwest is continually developing as a strategic trade and transport hub with a vast amount and a great variety of high-profile companies situated in the area, from pharma to medical device manufacturing. To ensure a strong and consistent talent pool to support and strengthen these sectors in a post-Brexit world, the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Programme offer that we have at MTU provides an opportunity for local and national companies to upskill existing staff while also attracting new talent. Currently, MTU has 16 students participating in the programme, and at the end of the academic year, we will see the first 8 graduates successfully completing the 2-year logistics qualification. Companies currently sponsoring students on the programme include Boston Scientific, DHL, Kuehne+Nagel, Southwest Logistics, and Musgraves, to name but a few. The Logistics Associate Apprenticeship at MTU is designed to help employers in the region to recruit and develop their employees, in addition to improving productivity and, in turn, profitability. The Logistics Associate Apprenticeship not only develops core logistics skills, but it also provides students with the necessary knowledge related to the supply chain function. And furthermore, this qualification develops the essential soft skills that provide graduates with the competence and confidence to excel in their professional career. So I'm absolutely delighted to have the Minister of State for International and Road Transport Logistics, Minister Hildegard Naughton, providing us on the rollout of such a valuable programme to our local economy. So it's a huge pleasure to welcome Minister Naughton and to hand over to Minister Naughton for the next stage of the agenda. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm very pleased to be here this morning at the launch of the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship, which is now available at Munster Technological University. I want to thank, first of all, Professor Maggie Cusack for your introduction, and also thanks to Aidan Flynn for inviting me here today. It's great to see such a wide range of employers involved in transport, logistics, and the movement of goods here this morning. The transport and logistics sector is, of course, a key employer in Ireland, and yet many potential employees are not aware of the excellent career opportunities available within this diverse sector. And I am all too aware of the skills gap that currently exists and the need to grow our skills base from which employers in Ireland can draw in our ever-changing trading environment. In its role as the government's advisory body on the current and future skills needs of the Irish economy, the expert group on future skills needs in 2018 highlighted the critical skills gap in the freight, transport, distribution and logistics sector, including the challenges posed by Brexit and the trade implications of our nearest neighbour leaving the EU. The expert group recommended the development of new apprenticeships programmes for the sector and industry-led consortia. The Logistics Associate Apprenticeship is an excellent example of industry employers, representative organisations and educational institutions coming together to develop a structured apprenticeship course that meets the needs of employers. This apprenticeship programme provides a really valuable educational and professional opportunity, which results in a third level qualification, along with great opportunities for career progression or indeed further education. The credit is due to those involved in the apprenticeship consortium for all of the hard work in recent years in getting this apprenticeship programme up and running, first in Technological University Dublin and now in Munster Technological University. I have a very strong interest in the skills gap that is facing the sector. On foot of key recommendations from the expert group on future skills needs, the Department of Transport established and currently chairs the Logistics and Supply Chain Skills Group. Aidan and Dr. Jane O'Keefe from MTU, who will be speaking later this morning, are very involved in the work of that skills group. The skills group was established in 2019 with the primary aim of supporting the promotion of careers, skills development and sustainable employment in the logistics and supply chain sector in Ireland. Several key stakeholder representatives from industry, education and government, including the representative bodies and educational institutions that are part of the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Consortium, participate in the work of this group. The group's overarching aim is to work towards enhancing the perception of the sector's diverse roles, entry routes, and development opportunities, and enhancing the sector's ability to attract and retain talent. The promotion of careers and sustainable employment in the sector, together with skills development and career progression for existing workers through training and education, is crucial. Apprenticeships programs are a very important part of this. And since its introduction in TU Dublin in 2018, the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship has been going from strength to strength. And it is the first dedicated apprenticeship for the logistics sector. And the rollout of this program at MTU now provides even more opportunities nationally for companies to get involved and for new apprenticeships to enroll. The structured and tailored apprenticeship provides people with real work experience and on-the-job training alongside learning in an educational setting. And I hope that it will be a great benefit to the many businesses located in the Munster region and to those interested in working in the logistics sector or those already working in the sector who wish to upskill. The on-the-job learning is further enhanced through the mentors that each apprentice is paired with within their organisation. And looking at the history of the apprenticeship program so far, it's really encouraging to see the numbers of students enrolling each year and the increasing number of companies from which apprentices come to take part in the program. I was interested to learn that the apprentices to date are in a wide range of roles, including freight forwarders, transport planners, manufacturers, and haulage operators, to name only a few. The range of roles is diverse, and there will be no doubt help to create many further opportunities for those interested in taking part in the program. The range of employers involved is equally diverse, and thus there is a broad appeal to both employers and those interested in becoming apprentices. In terms of those apprentices taking part in the course to date, I understand that there is great diversity and a good gender balance, and people of all ages at various stages of their career, be it just finished school or looking to upskill at a certain point in their career. This apprenticeship program therefore creates jobs within the sector and offers people the opportunity for progression, career advancement, and opportunities for promotion. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the importance of logistics and supply chains globally. The response of our logistics sector to the unprecedented challenges of the pandemic has been most impressive, and I certainly feel more appreciative of the work of all of those involved in the sector. There has never been such a focus on the wider transport, logistics, and supply chain sector, and this should help us all in raising awareness of both the educational and professional opportunities that are available within that sector. A newfound appreciation for the sector exists right throughout society, and this presents a real opportunity now to work together to raise the profile of the sector and to get people really thinking about a career here. The Logistics Associate Apprenticeship will be a great starting point for many people. Some of you here today may also be interested in some of the work that's ongoing within my own department. Included in the Climate Action Plan for this year is the Programme for Government's commitment to adopt a 10-year haulage strategy that I was pleased to publish the consultation document for it just last week. So this will be the first ever government policy document focusing exclusively on the haulage sector. The 10-year strategy will focus on improving efficiencies and standards and helping the sector move to a low carbon future. Details of this public consultation are available on the Department of Transport website. And I just wanted to mention this today because I want to hear from industry, employers, and from training and academic providers about how we can encourage more people to take up work in the road haulage sector, be it drivers, transport manager roles, or customs roles, or so on. And just finally, I know that you all have a really busy agenda this morning, so I just want to thank you again for giving me the opportunity to join you for this morning's launch. And I look forward to hearing more about the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship, this year's uptake, and the companies involved. And I have no doubt that there is much potential for it to grow and to flourish. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Minister and President of MTU. Maggie Cusack, for your very kind words and for your support for today's event. I appreciate you're very busy today, Minister, as usual, and I know you cannot stay with us for much longer, but we really do appreciate the time that you've given us here today And I think the key word and key theme that comes through the project that has been the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship has been collaboration. The development of the skills forum supported by the Department of Transport is really important, of gelling industry, government and academia together. And I suppose that this is an example of how it works very positively. And you know, the purpose of today, of course, is to support MTU and support businesses in the Munster region to understand the benefits that an apprenticeship can afford them. So our next speakers are from two employers who have the experience of putting apprentices on the programme, and we're delighted to welcome Brian Power from Boston Scientific in Cork. And Brian has over 20 years of supply chain experience, predominantly in regulated industries. He first joined Boston Scientific in 2007 and has worked in a variety of roles across engineering and supply chain. He is currently Director of Materials Management and has responsibility for supply chain at Boston Scientific Cork. So I'll ask Brian to share his screen and provide his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Aidan. I'll just share my screen. Hopefully you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Great. Okay. So again, thank you, Aidan, for the introduction. I'm certainly delighted to be present here today representing Boston Scientific Cork in support of the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Programme. As you may well know, Boston Scientific Cork is located on the Model Farm Road and is in fact in very close proximity to the Munster Technological University campus. Here in Cork, we have over 1,100 employees in our facility, and we have been operating in our current location for over 23 years. Over that time, we have a long-standing relationship with MTU, and I know that many of our team have availed of further education in MTU over the years, and indeed we have partnered on a number of initiatives over the years, such as our Level 6 Leadership Development Programme that was developed in conjunction with MTU. Just a little bit about our operation here in Cork. We are a medical device manufacturing facility that produces and ships a diverse range of minimally invasive medical devices that help improve the lives of the patients that use our products. The products we manufacture range in complexity from single-use balloon dilation devices used for stone extraction to more complex atherectomy devices that remove blockages in the coronary arteries. Ensuring that we service our customer needs by ensuring that high-quality products are available in operating theatres around the world when needed by the patients we serve is of fundamental importance to our business. So with that in mind, I wanted to reflect on some of the reasons we as a company see value in the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Programme. And there are two key reasons that come to mind. The first one I have on this slide, and we have a saying that it's all about talent. And I think this certainly applies to the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Programme. When we speak about talent as an organization, we think about areas involving having focused development for our team members, developing meaningful careers, growing internal talent within our organization, indeed attracting new talent, understanding the capabilities and gaps that we may have within our existing workforce, and also promoting diversity across our organization. So how does the Logistics Apprenticeship Programme help in that regard? So we like to think about Boston Scientific Cork as having a huge wealth of knowledge available to us daily on our manufacturing facility. As I mentioned before, we've been here over 23 years, so a lot of our team members have a long tenure with us. So we feel that we have over 10,000 years of knowledge available to us daily on our facility. As part of that, we want to understand and give opportunities for people to develop in that regard. I think you would all agree that across all sectors, investing time in creating and developing talent is a cornerstone of success. The Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Programme gives the opportunity for team members within our organisation to pursue an alternative route to further education in a very relevant field of expertise, while at the same time actively learning in full employment. It can act as an important bridging mechanism for employees and give them confidence on their career journey. The government-supported funding model for the programme offers a great incentive to both employees and employers. We have some practical examples of this today with people that have partaken in the course. And indeed, I have some of my own team members who are currently on the program who have taken up roles in areas such as logistics coordinators within my team. And this has allowed them to develop a different career opportunity and a different career path within the organization that would previously not have been available to them. The next key point that I'd like to highlight, and obviously I'm somewhat biased in this, but I like to think it is all about supply chain. We do like to joke that with supply chain does all of the hard work in an organization, but I know that many of my colleagues in sales and marketing might have slightly different perspectives on that. Clearly, however, our supply chains across all industries are becoming more complex and global. We at Boston Scientific like to think in terms of an end-to-end supply chain. And as you can see here, this really involves thinking about our supply chain right the way from our material supply base, our transportation to our facilities, our manufacturing and sterilization operations, transportation, our distribution network, and our final distribution to our end customers. This here in front of you is a global manufacturing footprint for Boston Scientific, and you can see how global in nature it is. And I'm sure you would appreciate that there is a huge amount of interdependencies between all of these different manufacturing locations. Within our end-to-end supply chain, we think about how we can serve our customer needs. So it is customer-centric, it's integrated, and it's agile. So within that context, we appreciate that the content that's covered by the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Program is very relevant, as it gives a foundational basis in such areas as logistics and distribution, supply chain management, trade, and customs compliance. We view these as really important and critical knowledge areas that we need to have available to support what is becoming an ever increasing and complex end-to-end supply chain. So I think in that regard, the need for knowledge is clear. To demonstrate how relevant these skills can be that are developed by the Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Program in today's environment, I did want to share briefly some of the interesting challenges that we as a manufacturing facility have experienced over the last 12 months. And I'm sure these are also evident across many other industries, either large or small. So I think you're all aware that within the industry generally at the moment, there's been quite a significant amount of supply chain disruption, whether that's involved in component shortages, of which we've outlined here, in relation to either COVID vaccination supplies around components that we would also use, needles or syringes, for example, the general constraints that are in the marketplace with the rise in cardboard packaging shortages, and also some of the constraints that have developed within the semiconductor industry. All of these elements have the impact of creating more complexity and indeed more problems for us to solve within the supply chain world. Everybody, I'm sure, is familiar with Brexit and the challenges that it has posed for many companies within Ireland and indeed beyond. We've had to deal with those as many other industries have had to do, dealing with different transportation routes, additional customs and trade compliance requirements. At the same time, the COVID pandemic has changed fundamentally some of the market conditions for both sea and air freight. We have seen record cargo volumes on sea freight, and we've also seen a global worldwide shortage on containers. These elements have made the transition to sea freight quite complex in some cases. At the same time, the market conditions for air freight have obviously changed fundamentally, and we see this in Ireland, in particular with our outbound freight capacity availability. Lastly, I just wanted to share this graphic, which, as you may recognize, is a picture of the Suez Canal with the constraints that were present there recently as a result of the Ever Given freight container ship that got stuck. That's circled in red, and you can see we were tracking one of our products circled in blue here on the screen. And my initial reaction looking at this was that we are looking at quite a significant delay, as you can imagine, to the supply of our materials. That was just an interesting eye-opener from my perspective and an interesting challenge in terms of what can happen within the global supply chain that we currently operate today. In summary, we very much support the program. and on the basis that it provides a great opportunity to positively develop our team members by offering an avenue for career progression, and at the same time develop skills and knowledge in our organization that are important to our business needs. And with that, I would like to hand back to Aidan. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Brian. That was an excellent insight into the operations of Boston Scientific, and it's great to see that the logistics apprenticeship of course has such an appeal for companies such as yours that has such diverse operations, covering all modes of distribution. And I think we'll hear a little bit more about that from Anna's presentation in a while. Now I would like to invite Con Lawler from South Coast Logistics, who's Operations Director for South Coast Logistics. Con has joined South Coast in 2017 as Operations Director, is responsible for overall day-to-day operations for the company. He has a wealth of management experience, having previously worked in management roles in the multinational, public and SME sectors. Con holds a degree in business administration and a higher diploma in project management. And I would ask Con to share his presentation now. Thank you.
So sorry, Aidan. Thank you very much for the invitation to speak today. It's a great pleasure to be here today. First and foremost, we are very much behind this apprenticeship program. We are delighted that one of the 8 students who will be graduating from MTU in the coming months is one of our apprentices, Richie Ryan, a very good and a very capable young man, and somebody who's really embraced all elements of the apprenticeship, and somebody that we hope that will be with us for a very long time to come. I would like to thank the Minister for her words at the very start of her presentation today. And Minister, we look forward to contributing very much to your tenure road haulage strategy, or haulage strategy. We think that's a very important document, and we will definitely be actively involved in that. We're delighted, as I say, to be involved in this scheme. Anything and any formal education or education program that brings new students into the logistics industry is very important to us. And what I'd like to do is just give you an overview this morning of South Coast Logistics, where we've came from and where we're going, and why these schemes are so important to us. South Coast Logistics is a family-owned company. It was set up in 1975 by our founding member, Coleman O'Flynn Sr. The company is now owned by his 3 sons, Pat, John, and Richie O'Flynn, and there are 2 outside directors now to the company. Myself as the operations director, and Morgan Mansfield is our finance director. We have a very clear and we have a very simple vision, which is to create and maintain effective solutions for each of our customers by being a seamless extension of our business. And that is so important for everybody in logistics, that we are seen as a seamless extension of their service. I was looking at Brian's presentation there a few minutes ago, and at the bottom of the screen there, he outlined the various phases of movement of their products throughout the supply chain. And within it, with 4 times within that shot at the bottom of his screen, there was 4 times that there was transport involved. They weren't necessarily all road haulage, but it was all there was 4 different transport keys in that, and that's why the haulage industry is such an important part of the overall logistics industry. We ourselves are one of Ireland's largest freight logistics company, and we specialize in bulk liquid transportation. So we transport milk, we transport fuel, we transport prime products from port to manufacturing and pharmaceutical facilities throughout the country, and transport other products back for export throughout Europe and throughout the world. We're very happy to say that we are, and Richie O'Flynn, our commercial director, was one of the founding members of the Freight Transport Association, and very much involved in the development of the association. And we're very much a key supporter of the association, and to further develop the reach of the association as it goes forward. you'll see in my next slide the wide variety and diversity of the companies that we as a company deal with. And because of the nature of the companies we deal with, quality is one of the key things. So we have a huge amount of time invested in our quality certifications, from ISO 9001, 14001. We're the only logistics company in Ireland with 22,000 ISO accreditation. We also have SQS accreditation, and our accreditation, I should say, and we also have our FTAI silver certificate accreditation, and we're currently working towards our gold and our green certification with the FTAI. As a company, we've over 85 trucks on the road on a daily basis, with 275 or more various different types of tanks, road tankers, chassis, curtain siders, all the equipment needed to serve our customer base. And we have depots at key ports and strategic points from Dublin, Cork, Galway, and other locations throughout the country. Over 90 skilled and highly qualified drivers. And all of our drivers, with the exception of some of our milk drivers, have all ADR qualifications, so they're fully qualified to carry and transport chemicals nationwide and into the UK and on the continent if so required. And all of that and everything that's highlighted in the previous bullet points are all supported by a highly competent office team. So in order to run a business like ours, we have to have our planners, we have to have our administrators, our transport administrators, we have to have our fleet manager, we have our check manager, and so many other elements that make up the core of our overall 150 and 120 employers. And that employees, I should say, and that's why we are so excited about this scheme. Just to give you a quick overview of some of the customers that we deal with and the diverse range of customers that we have. Top two companies on the left there, Marinochem and Microbio, two indigenous Irish companies where we do all their bulk transports for them. Marinochem makes resin products for the timber industry, where we transport their products nationwide. Microbio makes acid and alkali products for the food and manufacturing industries. And again, we transport all their bulk products nationwide. For Circle K, we deliver all their fuels to all their forecourts and commercial customers throughout the Munster and Connacht region and certain parts of Leinster as well. For Shell Aviation, we deliver all the fuel to Cork Airport and Kerry Airport. Unfortunately, those two sectors have taken a bit of a hit in the last 12 months due to the pandemic. But fortunately, due to the diverse nature of our customer base, it hasn't really hit us that hard. It has hit the individual drivers hard to a certain extent, but it hasn't hit the company as a whole very, very hard. For Glanbia, we transport over 100 million litres of milk every year from over 160 farms to food production facilities in Tipperary, Waterford and Kilkenny. For Irish distillers, we transport casks of whiskey on a daily basis from their Middleton distillery to their warehouse facilities where the casks are left to mature, and then we transport the mature casks back to Middleton for further processing. At the bottom half of the screen there, for anyone involved in the logistics industry, you'll see who knows the logistics industry will see a vast list of tank operators. These are ISO tank operators who ship product into Ireland. We take the product from the quay, we bring it to the manufacturing facility, to the pharmaceutical facility, wherever it has to go. The product is offloaded. The tanks are sent back to the continent, or the tanks are washed and sent to are reloaded before going back to the continent or back to the UK or even further afield. A lot of our products sometimes go that we ship from Ireland go as far as America and beyond. So why are we supporting this apprenticeship scheme at MTU? We feel that this apprenticeship scheme is so important. First and foremost, when students are at open days in universities are sitting with their career guidance teacher inside in secondary school, the fact that they can now see a path of progression into the logistics industry is so important. That it's not a forgotten industry. That it's now an industry that's in front of students and gives them that viable option. And for an apprenticeship program, it gives students that gateway to get into logistics. And I think the apprenticeship is so important because so many students want to go to college and want to do their 4 years in college or their 5 years in college and get their level 8s or their level 7s or 8s or 9s or whatever it is. But there's many other students who really want to get into the working environment and want to start working. They've had so many years in between national school and secondary school, and now they want to get one to working. And this apprenticeship program gives them that balance, and we're delighted that MTU down here in Munster, right, has this program on our doorstep for us, and it is so vital and for us for the future. The course itself gives the students a very important practical introduction to the industry. So when the students come to start working for us, they're working for us during their apprenticeship, when they're taking the learnings from the classroom into the workplace right away, and they're taking the learnings from the workplace right back to the classroom, so they can discuss it with their peers and with their lecturers and all that. So they're learning from two avenues, and we think that and we believe that is hugely important. From us, we see the benefits to the industry as very simple. First and foremost, the industry, like every single other industry, needs a constant supply of new staff. We need to attract young people to the industry, and getting people in at the leaving cert level is so important. Not people stumbling into logistics later on in their careers or whatever. Getting people interested and into logistics at the early stages is excuse me, is so important. MTU are going to give us qualified individuals who are going to bring new ideas, new thoughts, and new technologies to our industry, and that is vitally important. When the pandemic first hit us and we had to move out of the office to everyone, excuse me, for everyone to work from home, we were very nervous. We always had this mentality that everybody should be sitting together, everybody should be hearing all the conversations that's going on, everybody should be know everything that's going on by listening to what their colleagues are saying in the office and stuff like that. And we were very fearful that things would fall through the cracks. We would miss load. We would miss loads. We would be late. There'd be misunderstandings. But in fairness, it was the younger people in our staff. Our staff ranged from their early 20s to me being the old guy in the company in the mid 50s. But it was the younger people who said to us, lads, why don't we use this? Things like we use WhatsApp so much now compared to what we did before the pandemic. We thought we were great as the old guys in the company saying, let's use Microsoft Teams for meetings, and everyone thought that was great. But the younger people in our company came to us and said, no, we can use Teams for 100 more things than just having meetings. And it's great to have that involvement with the young people thinking and improving our industry for us and our company for us. By bringing the students in as well at an early stage, it lets them see that there is a proper career in logistics, that they can progress their career. I've outlined there at the very start, we have over 115 people on our staff. We've 90 of them drivers. We've 25 or 6 people working in the office. A diverse range of people, from, as I say, from planners to administrators to fleet managers, all the way up along. And we need to be able to show students and young people how important and logistics is, and how they can grow their career in logistics. And I think the apprenticeship is ideal because it combines, as I said earlier on, it combines learning on the job and learning in the classroom. And for so many students, that is so important. So look, we're delighted we're really delighted to support this program. We look forward to having another student starting with us in September of this year, and to continue to support the program as it goes forward. So thank you very much for your time. That's me. That's me finished now. Thank you.
Con, thanks very much. That was an absolutely refreshing presentation, and the 2 employer presentations there have been fabulous. And I suppose just in line with some of your comments there, I think Brexit has demonstrated or taught us of the importance of a stronger and more coherent supply chain and the importance of good relationships within that supply chain. And certainly haulage is so important, as Con mentioned. And the 10-year strategy is very, very welcome, and it does aid recognition for the industry, and it offers validity to the profession. And I suppose that's what the logistics apprenticeship has been doing over the past few years in terms of raising the profile. And certainly, as the Minister herself mentioned a while ago, COVID and Brexit has definitely shone the spotlight on the industry. So well done, Con, and well done, Brian. Really appreciate your contribution and participation here today. Thank you. Now, I would like to hand over to Anna Greca, who's a fabulous ambassador for the apprenticeship and has been nominated and is a supply chain skills group ambassador as well. And Anna has been working on developing the brand of the apprenticeship over the last number of years, and getting lots of employers interested in the program to great success. But Anna has worked in the industry as a professional for over 10 years with operational managerial experience in transport and distribution operations, fleet management, motor transport compliance, auditing, road transport, driver's hours compliance, temperature control systems management, and driver CPC training. Anna holds a bachelor's degree in European Business Management and in Economics. And prior to joining FTA Ireland as the project manager for the apprenticeship, she held various management roles within the transport and logistics sector in Ireland. So over to you, Anna. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aidan. I hope you can hear me okay and you can see the presentation.
We can, yes.
So good morning, everybody. So my name is Anna Gorecka, and I'm the project manager for the LAA program. And my main role is to engage with the employers to promote the program, but also to provide employers with all the relevant information they need to know about the program, help them with the registration process. And basically, I would be the point of contact if anyone has any questions or need assistance in terms of the program. The other, I suppose, a very important part of my role is to promote the career in logistics to younger generations. So a lot of proportion of my time is being spent to engage with the secondary schools, so with the guidance counselors, teachers in secondary schools across Ireland. I do also attend many events, previously in person, now very much for the last couple of months online. Events such as school summits, higher options, or I suppose anything to do with the promoting careers and especially in the logistics. And kind of while working on this project, the eye-opener for me was that how how the public, I suppose, and the younger generation, even the parents of the students, that they are not actually aware what the logistics and the sector has to offer in terms of the career opportunities. So it is very, very important part to promote, the sector and to talk to those students about what the sector has to offer in terms of the careers. So I know that the apprenticeship might be quite a new thing for many employers. So just to kind of give you some idea in terms of apprenticeship programs here in Ireland. So at this point, there are over 6,500 employers who are using the apprenticeship model to recruit and develop their talent pipeline. So in 2020, there were over 17,000 apprentices who are completing training on over 55 different apprenticeship programs. And that included logistics and also other programs like finance, biopharma, engineering, constructions. So that would include the craft apprenticeship programs and non-craft apprenticeship programs. So the first class of logistics apprentices started in September 2018 in TU Dublin. So initially we had 17 employers who were registered for the program and were approved to deliver the training, and 27 apprentices. So this is the third year we've been running the apprenticeship program, and we've grown the number of employers and apprentices. So currently we have 62 companies approved and registered for the LAA, with 120 logistics apprentices across MTU and TU Dublin. So I couldn't fit in all the employers, but basically the program has a very broad appeal. So in terms of the employers who are participating, it would be all, I suppose, sector of the industries. So you would have the manufacturing companies, freight forwarding, shipping, distributions, and warehousing, and so on. So there is a huge interest in the program, as you can see, and we're absolutely delighted that the employers are supporting this program, and the number of employers are constantly growing. So LAA is Ireland's first apprenticeship program for the logistics sector, and the whole aim is to meet the growing demand for logistic personnel. It is not a secret that the industry has been struggling to attract new talent and to recruit, I suppose, skilled workforce. So that's what the program is trying to aim to talk more about careers in logistics and to attract more talent into the sector. So MTU and TU Dublin would be two main education and training providers. But this apprenticeship program is very much designed for employers for all sizes and regions. So you don't have to be necessarily based in Munster or Leinster to participate in the program and become an apprenticeship employer. So the program lasts for 2 years, and an apprentice who successfully completes the program gets awarded higher certificate in logistics, which is the QQI level 6 on the National Framework of Qualifications. The unique part of the program that it does provide this blended learning approach. So your apprentice will be, you have to release an apprentice to college 1 day a week, where they will learn the broad range of logistics modules. Colleges deliver their case studies, interactive presentations, and exercises. And also for the remaining 4 days, an apprentice stay with an employer where they're being trained on the job. So there would be a work-based modules delivered or basically delivered by the employer. And quite an important part of the program is that in the year 2, apprentices complete a work-based project, which will relate directly to the work they do, and which will directly, I suppose, the employing organization, relate to the employing organization. So on the job, they're learning all, and they get to see how things are done in the real life, and they learning on the job skills and gaining valuable work experience. So the program is very much built around work-related experience and work-specific projects. So apprentices for a period of 2 years are employed by the business, and they will receive a starting salary if it's an external candidate employer decides to take. And the salary is very much set by the employer, so flexibility lies with an employer in terms of the salary. Apprentice has to be assigned with the work mentor, and that would be a person, an experienced person within the organization who will guide and support apprentice through the 2-year journey. Both colleges, MTU and TU Dublin, provide an additional support for the employing organizations and for the mentor. So they do deliver a mentoring program, and the next round of the training starts in October this year and will be running till May of next year. So there will be a free full-day session. So at the end of the training, if a mentor decides to submit an assignment to the college, which is absolutely optional, they can also be certified in mentoring. So in terms of the program content, the modules which are being delivered in the college and on the job, in the first year, apprentices would learn or would cover the introduction to logistics and supply chain management, customer service, communication and professional skills, customs and international trade, and also IT fundamentals. And there is obviously this aspect of the on-the-job training, so they get to work, they get to work also with the computer and so on. There is a team working exercise involved, and they also have to complete a weekly reflective journal, so they need to log what they actually learn, on the job. In the year 2, the program covers road, air, sea, freight logistics, distribution and warehousing, quantitative analysis and Excel. And there's also on the job modules, which is understanding customer service, reflective journal. And as I mentioned, the big part is the work-based project apprentices have to work on. And at the end of the year, they have to do the presentation to the college. So what are the entry requirements, or what is the process involved if an employer would like to become an apprenticeship employer? So employer has to be formally assessed and approved to train apprentices by SOLAS, which is the Further Training and Education Authority. it is a very, very simple process, and we do keep things quite simple. So if you would like to register and become an apprenticeship employer, first step would be to express your interest by contacting myself. And when you do, I will, on your behalf, make contact with Solus, and we will start the registration process. So during that process, a Solus authorized officer from Solus will pay a visit to your site and will carry the assessment. And within a couple of days, you will be informed if you've been successful with the registration. So once your company is registered with Solus, that's when you can recruit and select candidates. And when you do recruit your candidates, you can basically register them with Solus and then with college. And I will help you with and guide you through the whole process. So it is a very, very straightforward process. Important part is that in terms of becoming an apprenticeship employer, it is a one-off process. So when you are registered and approved, you can take apprentices anytime you wish to do so. So in terms of the logistics apprentice profile, this program is very much designed for school graduates. So it does create a perfect entry point for somebody who has never worked in the sector and has no qualification, but also for mature students and career changers and also existing employees. And in this, I suppose, category, it would appeal to employees who are working in the sector for many of years. They would have many years of relevant experience, but wouldn't have a necessary qualification to allow them to progress in terms of their careers. And on the LA, we have a mix of those candidates, which is great to see. Important thing which I want to highlight for employers is that when you select candidates, they need to meet the program entry criteria. The reason why is because when you will be registering them with Solus, they will have to provide a documentary evidence of the educational certificates. So there are three, I suppose, routes for apprentices to enter the program. So they have to have, just to keep it really simple, they have to have passed in English and Maths on the Leaving Cert. The other option is if there are holders of the QQI level 5 or level 6 in cognate areas, they can be eligible to enter the program. And the third route is to through the recognition of prior learning, and that's based on the work portfolio and the work experience and the training they provided while working in the sector. If you have candidates you have selected and you're not too sure, I will be able to help you and assist you and liaise with the college just to I suppose let you know if they meet the program entry criteria or not. So in terms of the recruitment, as I mentioned, you as an employer, you can recruit external candidates on the program, but you can also place your own employees on the program for the upskilling purpose. But if you decide to recruit external candidates, we can help your business to source candidates. So we have candidates who have been registering their interest and details for the LAA program and are actively and currently looking for a work placement. So we have this pool of candidates which for you as an employer are free to access. We also advertise apprenticeship roles on behalf of employers, and this is also free. So we have resources we use, like our website, we have our jobs and news sections. We also use our social media channels to advertise those jobs. Jobs Ireland has their own section for the apprenticeship roles at the moment, and the LAA has own segment there as well. We have also partnered with Careers Portal, which is one of the biggest career guidance portal in Ireland, which is being used by guidance counselors, teachers, by parents, by students, by people looking to change a career, job seekers, and so on. So the logistics and transport has their own section there, as well as the LAA. So those roles would be advertised through that website. And the next resource is Generation Apprenticeship website, when you can actually, employers can advertise the apprenticeship roles. And all of those resources are free. So there are no recruitment fees, no costs. So you have this pool of talent and candidates available for you to recruit from. So I really, really recommend you to look into it, and I will assist you as well if you would like to advertise and open those positions. In terms of fees and funding, so the tuition part of the program is funded by the government. apprentice is obliged to pay an annual registration fee, which is payable to college. This is set by the Higher Education Authority. Currently, this is €800, which is paid for each year of the apprenticeship program. This fee can be paid also by an employer, so it's an agreement between and your apprentice, which way you want to go about it. At present, the government offers employers the apprenticeship incentivization scheme, and this scheme provides financial support for all employers who are taking apprentices on any apprenticeship programs here in Ireland. So at this point, there is funding available of €3,000 for each new apprentice who is registered with SOLAS by June, by the end of June this year. And this funding applies to your existing employees if you're placing them on the program, but also to candidates you're recruiting, so to external candidates. I'm not too sure what the funding will be available after that date. I know that the government has announced, and there's a new action plan for remodeling all the apprenticeship programs. So there will be a new structure and new funding available. So I suppose we will get more information after that date. So just to summarize in terms of the benefits, what the benefits are for your business if you get involved and become an apprenticeship employer, it does help you to attract new talent. It does offer upskilling and career progression opportunities for your existing staff. It increases pool of qualified people within your business. It helps you to build loyalty among staff and certainly helps with the succession planning. As mentioned, tuition free of the program is funded. There's a free certified mentor training and support provider for work-based mentors. And at this point, currently, there's a €3,000 funding available for registering a new apprentice of the program by the end of June this year. Benefits for apprentices, they gain internationally recognized qualification. This program is very much based on earn as you learn. So candidates get to access the fair level education. They get 2-year employment contract, which very often leads to permanent position. So when candidate successfully completes the program, they being offered a permanent position within the business. And that's the whole purpose for the employers. The reason why you want to take and recruit apprentices is because you want to retain them as well. And at the end of the 2 years, you know, when you take somebody on who has no experience, no qualification, after 2 years, they're gaining all of those. So it's a huge benefit. Apprentices also get to gain valuable on-the-job experience and workplace skills. And there are great and excellent career opportunities for those who complete the program as well. So for more information, I would refer you to either reach out directly to me or go to our website, www.laa.ie, when you can download for free the LAA guide for employers, which includes all the relevant information about the program. So some recognition and awards. So the LAA program was a winner of the Innovation Award at the Fleet Transport Awards in 2019. And winner of the Logistics and Transport Team of the Year Award at the Irish Logistics and Transport Awards 2019, and finalists in many other awards and categories. So at this point, we are very much open for taking bookings, and we do encourage employers, if you would like to sign up and become an apprenticeship employer and recruit apprentices, please get in touch. As mentioned, we have now 62 employers, and there's a huge interest in the program. Some employers can place multiple apprentices on the program each September in both colleges. So I do advise to look into it quite early and let me know, and I will guide you and I will support you and provide further information as well. So please do get in touch. So here are my contact details. Please feel free to give me a call or send me an email. I would be delighted to help. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Anna. Very thorough and informative presentation. Indeed, there's a number of questions coming in on the chat there, and we will get to them after our next couple of speakers. So we will move on to Dr. Jane O'Keefe. Jane is an academic at the National Maritime College of Ireland in supply chain management, logistics, information systems, business strategy, and human resource management for both logistics and maritime sectors. with more than 20 years of industry experience in electronics, pharmaceuticals, and public sector, encompassing all aspects of supply chain and business management. Jane is a fellow past president, council, and graduate member of IIPMM, a graduate member of APICS, and an active member of the CILT. Past chairperson of the National Education Awards, chair of the Expert Skills subgroup in logistics and supply chain management. She holds a PhD, a master's in business studies, postgraduate diplomas in education, and also in teaching and learning in higher education, Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Business and Management degrees from UCC and MTU. Her research areas include logistics and supply chain management and climate change adoption. So we look forward to hearing from you now, Jane, on the Logistics and Supply Chain Skills Group. Thank you. You might be on mute.
You can see the screen, yes?
Yeah, we can see you and hear you now, so that's great. Thank you.
Thanks indeed. So thank you, Aidan, for the introduction. So what I'm asked to review today is just very briefly what we've been doing with the Logistics and Supply Chain Skills Group. And Minister Naughton has mentioned this and how relevant the whole thing is to promoting and to basically that we're geared up really to support the supply chain needs really for Ireland, right? So that's what we're looking at. So here just on the expert skills, first of all, it's basically these expert skills groups that were across all industries were basically developed as an independent statutory body in 1997 by the government, and the membership then are a whole range of government departments, particularly the Department of Enterprise and Development and agencies, IDA, you can see, look, HEA, IBEC, right across, right? It's basically managed by the Secretariat in the Department of Enterprise, and then it's part of the National Skills Architecture. So it's basically developed out of that. And then it was seen that supply chain logistics were becoming very key areas at that point in time. And out of that then, out of various reports that the government produced and surveys and so forth, it came about then that there was a further need really to focus on supply chain and including logistics. And that's how this new group, the Expert Skills Group, basically in logistics and supply chain, was developed and set up really in 2019. So just the importance of logistics and supply chain then to the Irish economy. And I guess the main focus point here is that, you know, from the maritime perspective, sea freight really is our primary means of importing and exporting. And, you know, for my other colleagues there who've mentioned about the Suez Canal, dare we say, the pandemic that we're under at the moment and so forth, and Brexit, all of these things have elevated, I suppose, supply chain and the need for it. And I guess everything has been running smoothly, and the developments within the area have been absolutely fantastic over the years, and, you know, supported by fantastic IT infrastructure, which has enabled it to happen. But there's also an awful lot more that needs to happen. So air freight here, we're saying 1%, and obviously by value, you know, huge 90% there. And, you know, we've road freight. We've also mentioned, obviously, for the road haulage strategy, 10-year strategy that the minister mentioned, and, you know, Aidan mentioned, etc. Also highly important, right, in supporting all of these initiatives. And again, I suppose Ireland, we're an island nation, so we've got to be really, really slick and really, really geared up to compete globally. Now, there are difficulties within supply chain activities, and it's, you know, recruiting. There have been difficulties in recruiting particular expertise and also numbers, right? The image of the industry is low and has been low for years, in the sense that people don't really come out of school, let's say, and want to go into supply chain. They end up, you know, doing accountancy, engineering, so various careers, and then they come into the interesting jobs of what is supply chain and management roles, etc., right across all industries. I mean, it's touching on every industry. No, we're seeing there is an aging workforce. A lot of this can be on the road transport area, where there's a huge amount of employment from that perspective. And again, so and that's why there is that strategy document put forward at the moment, because it is an area that needs to be looked at. Career progression is another area that it's only those that are in the profession and they are trying to look and see where can they go. So what our group is looking at is like, you know, can we make this more visible and transparent as to what the career progressions are? Education pathways, historically, it's really always been CPD. And as we mentioned earlier, it's people coming from all sorts of expertise, IT, right across, and coming into supply chain and logistics. And then they're doing degrees, further degrees, masters, and research, etc. in the area. So that's why it's so interesting today. It's the apprenticeship is a growing area, and there's a massive opportunity on the apprenticeship side to take folks that are in the job, as we said, folks that don't want to go directly into college, but that would like to work and will study hand in hand, right? And the apprenticeship program and this new structure to the program is very appealing and very supportive for that role. Also CAO, there are a few programs out there from a CAO perspective. And I guess a challenge for colleges and universities here is to get the interest, right, from the second level. And these are all areas that we've been looking at then to see how we can help that journey. So just again, on just looking forward, and it's kind of been mentioned, but these are the figures from government. So here are the demand forecasts for logistics from, you know, for that 10-year period up to 2025, and it's pretty much on target, despite Brexit, you know, soft or no deal, and we're still obviously struggling in the middle of all of this. But it's looked really for those years, it's looking at the demand has been like 30,000, and it's about 3,000 a year. So that's quite substantial newcomers into the industry. So there is demand, and we've got to make sure that we're meeting the right skills and to meet that demand. The members of the organizational members then of the actual expert skills group in logistics and supply chain, and it's extremely vast, right? It's obviously many government department, education and skills, enterprise, as we said, trade and employment, and Department of Transport, etc. And then we have basically Arctic Exporters Association, the FTA, ship brokers, IBEC. I mean, like all the, obviously the parties that are involved in the area are involved, and TUD and NMCI and MTU from the academic perspective. So just to show you those guys. So next then we're looking really at the skills group and really what the main focus, and this would have been out of the skills expert group of previous years, and like what are the major objectives that we need to look at. So the Forum for Ongoing Communication. So again, it's tapping into what's going on and providing leadership then in the area, monitoring the labour market developments, okay, coming out of government departments, improve the profile of logistics supply chain roles. And this is something that really is needed. And then it's to help then organizations recruit talent. And that's linking in with the secondary schools and secondary school students, that there is an awareness there that there are careers, direct careers in supply chain and logistics. Progression pathways available, right? That's something that absolutely needs to be done. And clear role then mapping to academic and other vocational awards. So again, for folks, wherever they are in their career, apprenticeship absolutely is going to seriously fill that gap. And those that, and then later, if they want to progress further. Ensure development opportunities then are available, and employee retention, obviously something that employers and industry are obviously really focused on. And again, that's just the list there of all the departments and the people that are part of this journey. Now, when we set up at the end of 2019, it made sense then to kind of have subgroups working on some of these objectives. So there's two main subgroups. So subgroup 1, it's basically, it's kind of academically led. So it's from TUD, and Declan Allen from TUD and myself are the two people that are actually chairing this particular subgroup. So our focus has been on careers promotion campaign and to enhance the attractiveness of logistics and supply chain sectors. And I guess both of us have worked in industry, we've worked in academia for many years, and we can see the conundrum is that folks don't know about logistics supply chain. Even though it's a huge employer right across so many industries, there's that gap of knowledge, or that gap of it, there isn't transparency there. So we're trying to unravel that basically. Improve alignment between curriculum and industry. And again, the occupational profiles, we'll come to those again later, and education and promotional tools. So they're the areas we've been working on. The subgroup 2, and here we have the director of IPEX, Michael O'Callaghan, and Lorcan Sheehan, who's basically involved with IBEC and also involved in supply chain consultancy. So these guys then are looking at building employment connections close to skills gap, and this is then with industry. So their engagement is very strong into the industry side and encouraging best practice. So developing initiatives to basically promote the best practice amongst the sector. So they're the main things that we've been focused on. And how have we been doing? So we think we've been doing very well, really. We've obviously, there's so many people involved in all of this. So just a quick snapshot for you as to what's been done. So we've conducted a national logistics and supply chain student survey. And I get to give you a little bit more detail on that in a minute. Developing a network panel of champions, and this has been really important. So champions, obviously you'll have champions that are all across all industries, and then that are tangible maybe for younger groups as well, to understand, yes, they're actually in supply chain and so forth. Ideas of promotional campaign then for second level. Engaged with the Institute, and we've basically engaged with the Institute of Guidance Counsellors, and we were invited through Alan, through the Department of Enterprise, that we are basically presenting at the Institute of Career Guidance conference, which is actually on next Saturday. So we've produced a lot of recordings for that, and we are really delighted that we have that window into the career guidance or career guidance counsellors that are basically guiding the students at second level. So we're actually very pleased with that. And creating competency frameworks then, and these are some of the tools that we want to give to the second level and to have them out there in industry also. Mapping career pathways so that people can see if they enter supply chain, be it in distribution, wherever across the whole mapping, that they'll know where they can go, right? And their pathways and the choices that they can make to move sideways and to move upwards and so forth. So annual report. So there was an excellent, very detailed report by the Department of Transport. So Claire Martinez and her group basically have pulled all the work that we've all been doing on all of this. And that publication is available. It's on the website. It's on a number of websites. And it also gives you an update of where everything is at. So just very quickly on the survey. So we basically went out and we surveyed full-time, part-time apprenticeships and graduates who have come through or in the middle of logistics and supply chain courses, and that's kind of nationally. So those findings are very interesting, and it keeps us basically in touch with what's happening in industry, and we're looking at the skills, any gaps that they see that maybe courses are not meeting and so forth. Though the results are actually very good, but we want to keep in touch with all of this. Career progression then. So we've kind of just given you a snapshot of what we're kind of looking at. So here is like entry role, trainee buyer, expediters, you know, folks working in the warehouse and so forth, drivers, whatever. And then, you know, just moving up the ranks then basically as a career progression. And what we're developing here, and this is what we're doing over the next kind of year or two, is a competency framework. And that really all the competencies that are needed at each level, and you know, and therefore then the delegate or the student can actually look and say, yes, these are some of the things that I'm interested in, or whatever, and how they need to progress. So there's a big engagement in that. And here then again, the career guidance and the tapping into that has been really important. And as you can see from the entry level here, school leavers, apprenticeships go up to level 9. In some areas as well. So again, the whole idea of apprenticeship, that structure is really strong, and it's very well sought after. And here then we said role behaviors, there's and what's needed. So just finally, just to sum up, what our plans and what we're working on, or the expert skills group is working on with the Department of Enterprise and the Department of Transport over the next year or two, is champions firmly established and matching with events. So there's a lot of work being done on that. Successful attendance at the Institute of Guidance Counsellors Conference, which is on this coming Saturday. Work to continue on development of promotional campaign for the second level. Inventory of educational offerings available, So Alan, who's in our Department of Enterprise, basically has, there is a portfolio there of all the courses that are available. And we're obviously, we're basically adding to that then as well, and that'll be updated. Mapping career pathways. Again, that people can see where they can go. So there's a lot of work still to do on that. And exploring further the possibility of a logistics and supply chain careers portal. And we're very keen on this. However, you know, such a portal will need to be maintained. It needs to be housed somewhere, and it needs to be current. So that's something that we're basically negotiating and working on. And we would like, as a sector, we would like that to be available. But these are one of the challenges that we have. So if you have any questions, by all means, you know, you can discuss them later. And I hopefully that's given you kind of an update on where our expert skills group on logistics and supply chain is at. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jane. That was very, very informative, very interesting. It's actually very exciting to see the work that the group is doing, and it's easy to take it for granted, but it's so important. And I mean, the publication of the group report there in December by the department was excellent, and continued success with that, of course. And I think, again, that collaboration to see the network of not just, well, the department's industry representatives and the champion, and with the whole ethos of trying to promote and develop logistics awareness about the diversity and the opportunities within the industry is fabulous, you know. So continued success with that, and thanks for your work in relation to that as well. So I'm conscious of time here because we do have a couple of questions to deal with before we finish up, and we said we'd finish around 11:30 or so. But I'd like to hand over to Niall Morris, who's head of Department of Process, Energy and Transport Engineering at MTU, which this apprenticeship sits within MTU, for some closing remarks. And Niall began his career 31 years ago in what is now Munster Technology University. His main focus throughout the years was in automation, specifically in latter days, the area of mechatronics. He recently took over the role as head of Department for Process, Energy and Transport. And I'd welcome you, Niall, to say a few words now. Thank you.
Thanks, Aidan. I want to take time there. I just again wanted to welcome to all in attendance this morning for the launch of our very impressive Logistics Associate Apprenticeship Programme. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to listen to the presentation. The programme resides within the Department of Process, Energy and Transport within MTU. This is a busy, modern, vibrant department with excellent specialised staff for the specific module deliveries on this programme. I myself then, as head of the department, would like to say a special thank you to Minister Naughton and to our President, Professor Cusack, for the support of the programme. A further thank you then today for our industrial partners who presented, Brian from Boston Scientific and Con from South Coastal Logistics. And then just to say, for the question and answer session there, Aidan, Anna and Jane will be joined by FC Van Heerden, who is our course coordinator within MTU and one of the lecturers for the Logistics Apprenticeship Programme, and we'll be delighted to field any of the questions that you may have. And again, thank you very much. As I said, I don't want to take up any more time, so I'll hand you back to Aidan there for the question and answer session. Many thanks.
Thanks very much, Niall. And look, I'd like to reiterate that acknowledgement and thanks for everybody for contributing to the proceedings today. It has been hugely informative and refreshing, I think. I would like to finish by highlighting that without employers, apprenticeship programs will not work. There are a lot of challenges ahead in effectively communicating the benefits of apprenticeships to school leavers, their mum and dads, to schools and career guidance teachers, and a lot of work in this area is happening, as pointed out by Jane and Anna. But as part of the Logistics Associate Consortium, it will continue to work hard in relation to that, work with the Higher Education Authority, Apprenticeship Ireland and SOLAS to realise this, and we look forward to this continuing challenge. It's a magnificent opportunity to use this Logistics Associate Apprenticeship as an excuse to help all the aforementioned groups understand more clearly what logistics is, what the supply chain is, and the diverse type of career opportunities there are in our industry. We wish MTU continued success and look forward to welcoming a burgeoning cohort of apprentices from the Munster region to this course in 2021. Thanks very much. So I think we have a few minutes, and there are a number of questions that have come through, and we might get straight to it. I think maybe if we look at one, just to confirm to everybody on the call, the slides will be shared and a recording of this will be available on social media outlets afterwards. I think maybe for the first question, if we looked to the guys from MTU in terms of the impact of COVID on the industry, you know, I think college life was going into college and meeting people. What is the impact of COVID? What has it been, and what are the plans for the delivery of the lectures? Are they done online, and is that the short-term plan? Would that change over a while? If there could be a bit of information provided in relation to that, it could be good.
Aidan, I can field that question.
Great.
Currently, all lectures are being presented via the classroom management system, Canvas, and on Zoom. So students would be signing in from home or from their designated workplace, and they attend lectures online. That's the current plan at the moment. Going forward, we're looking or hoping that we can return to the classroom as soon as possible, but obviously due to government regulations, we would comply with whatever those may be come September. But yeah, we've lost a little bit of cohesion with being out of the classroom, but we're still making, you know, great inroads and great learning experiences for the current apprentices on the program who attend the lectures, and we're getting guest speakers and guest training in at the moment, which is, you know, enriching the learning environment given the current circumstances we're under.
Thanks, FC. And just following on from that, do students have to be out of the office if they're doing online classes?
When we return to campus, students do attend the classroom, and they come to the MTU campus and they're on campus for the full day. Classes start from 9 a.m. in the morning, and the last class actually runs until 6 p.m. in the evening. So it is a full day. We do encourage with the current environment, the lectures, we do advise or ask that employees allow the apprentices to be working from home, so that they have that learning environment in the space where they're not disrupted, or that they can focus on their own education, their learning. Although sometimes, given the smaller staff contingencies in the Munster region, you do have apprentices signing in from the office. But what they do is they obviously find a conference room or meeting room for the lectures, and they pop in and out where they can. But you know, we're working together with the industry, and we understand that the environment as it is with Brexit and COVID and everything is very demanding, and we work with the employers, you know, and the apprentices to try and get the best learning experience.
Thanks, FC. I have a question for Anna. One of the delegates today has posed a question. A student based in Limerick, I'm just wondering where they could get a list of employers who are interested in taking them on. They're very interested in participating in this apprenticeship program in MTU.
Perfect. So I encourage those candidates who are interested in the LAA program and would like to get the list of employers who are registered to email me directly, or register their interest through the website where we have the apprentice section. So our generic email is info@laa.ie. So please send me an email and I will send you a list.
Thanks, Anna. And maybe Anna and FC might be able to answer this, but we might start with FC. I think it's fair to say the employers have a lot of work to do in this. It is, you know, earn as you learn. So in terms of supporting the apprentice, but as part of the registration, employers need to nominate mentors to support that apprentice. So if we could get a bit more detail in relation to what the role of the mentor is as you see it, would be great. Thank you.
Well, as Anna mentioned in her presentation, when an apprentice joins the program, a mentor is assigned from the company's point of view. The mentor is there to assist and help the learning experience from the industry side, whereas the lecturers primarily look at it from the academic and on-campus side. The role of the mentor specifically is to create a supportive learning environment, a place where the mentee or the apprentice can go to during the work time and inquire and gain information, ask questions around the working environment in industry. Obviously, from our side, we offer as much support as we can as lecturers, but it's primarily, the academic side of things. It's there also, they're there to help encourage the apprentices with regards to, work tasks and also the application of theory into the workplace. They're there to help and guide. We as lecturers wouldn't be as familiar with, the work policies and things that are in each company. Yeah. And then also, I guess the other element is it's I don't want to say a big brother, but it's there to help support and also liaise with the academic staff, where mentors can come to us and, confide or so that we can help and support the apprentice during their learning experience, both, in the classroom and in the working environment. We do try and be very, very accommodating with regards to the demands of the work and the work life. And likewise, we would communicate with the mentor with regards to, assignments and work due and what the actual apprentice is doing at the particular time.
That's great. There's benefits for the employer in terms of the support and learning to be a mentor as well. And I suppose, Anna, what would your advice be to new prospective employers when they're looking to start this journey, and what qualifications perhaps would a mentor need, and what would your advice be to the companies in relation to assigning mentors to students?
Well, thank you, Aidan. I suppose there aren't any educational requirements I suppose required for the mentors to become a mentor. It is to do with the experience they have and I suppose the expertise and years of experience they have working for the current employer. So the current, I suppose, criteria are that a mentor has to have at least 2 years experience working with the current employer or within the industry, or they hold a supervisory or a managerial role within the business. So those would be the criteria for the role of the mentor.
That's brilliant. Thanks very much. We're gone beyond 11:30 now, so we might just finish on one more question, and it's to do with progression. I suppose there's a couple of questions in relation to, I've got a level 5, is that a route into this as a level 6, or I've got a level 6 award, perhaps from the same college. Are there any credits assigned to trying to do another like this logistics at a level 6? Are there any credits? Can you skip year 1 for argument's sake and go into year 2? Who would like to take that, Jane or FC?
Well, thanks, Aidan.
Okay.
So for the level 5 question, it is a natural progression to go from level 5 up onto level 6. I guess the criteria is that the apprentice is employed by the company, and then based on the company putting forward the apprentice for the program, we would look at the relevant qualifications of the apprentice and assign them onto the program. If they have a level 5, there should not be any, I don't foresee any challenges with regards to getting them onto the program, as long as they meet the minimum criteria, which is on the, which Anna covered in her presentation. With regards to the level 7, or the person who already has a level 6, they have 2 options. One, they could go on to a level 7 run through the NMCI, and Jane can provide more information on that. But there is an avenue for recognition of prior learning, but they would have to, and that's done on an individual basis, a one-to-one basis, where they would have to provide evidence of recognition for prior learning, and we would assign credits accordingly to that. But that is a one-to-one basis.
To support what FC is saying there, absolutely, it would be a case-by-case basis. Automatically, when people have a level 6.2, in logistics and supply chain, and they should be able for the level 7, but just to make sure that depending on the experience and so forth. So we would always review that when it's RPL. We would review it on a case-by-case basis.
Thanks very much, Jane. And thanks very much again to all the contributors, and thanks to you for attending this event in such numbers. There's been fantastic feedback already, and continued success, as we mentioned already, to MTU. This will be available online, and the slides will be available to all the delegates. So I think we'll leave it at that, and just say our goodbyes. Thank you.
Thank you, Aidan.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.